Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to some more Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and today we are going to be looking at a walkthrough for the Siege of Fort Hateno. In my opinion, this is the most challenging map in the game, and for guide purposes, because a lot of my abilities are maxed out, I'm going to be playing on very hard to kind of scale up the difficulty, make it a little more even for people that aren't quite as progressed in the post-game. So, the thing about the Siege of Fort Hateno is that there are several objectives, a lot of things that need to be going on, a lot of enemies that are thrown at you. They throw at you enemies of every type in this particular map. It's insanely hectic, it's insanely fun, and a large part of what makes Siege of Fort Hateno so tricky is that you have several objectives that you need to do and several boss fights to go along with it. Not to mention that there's also the fact that there's only 10 minutes in which to do all of these activities, to do all these objectives. So this video today is going to be a walkthrough, not just for this particular map, but my general thought process for whenever I do any of these warrior maps. Anything that I kind of have to share in terms of strategy, I'm going to be sharing it here as well. Also, one thing I want to point out is we are going into spoiler territory for this particular video. If you guys have not completed the main story, I recommend switching out and saving this video for later for the purposes of this guide. I'm going to be switching over to a secret character, and I'll actually be showing a couple of secret characters very, very briefly. But other than that, though, I just want to point out that this particular guide is for people that are quite a bit progressed as things go on. So yeah, anyways, without further ado, let's just dive straight into it. Siege of Fort Hateno, gonna quickly switch characters. Actually, I might be able to black it out so that... Alright, so the character that I was talking about was Monk Mazkosha. I love this character a lot, cannot wait to do a showcase for this particular one, but I like to have this character around for the purposes of holding down the fort. There will be some periodic enemies going into the allied base, and you want to make sure you can get rid of them as soon as possible, and Mazkosha is great at doing stuff like that, which I will get into a little bit. But for the most part, Link is going to be the focal point of this particular fight. I'm going to be using the Royal Guard's Claymore, and as far as I'm aware, damage tends to be king. This game is only a week old, but I think, generally speaking, the best way to get through the game is just having as many damage seals as possible. Another important thing to keep in mind is like more special attack charge rates. Having specials and using them is very key to exposing weak point gauges, and that's kind of what the focal point of this game is, exposing the weak points of the major enemies to ensure that your objectives are secure. So that's what we got here. There's a couple of things that may be chosen over preference depending on what weapon. This is the character that I'm choosing, but for people that are a little bit newer, they want to use different characters, then general guideline, go for damage, go for quality of life. Seal, in my case, that's attack speed, because claymores are notably slower than spears or sword and shield, so that's exactly what we see here. Now, in terms of cooking, one thing you may want to consider is anything that increases your damage. That's always welcome. And in my scenario, I actually want to focus more on getting more charge rates. So we're going to have an additional 19% and some 10% damage just to kind of ease things along. That is going to be what we're doing for our food items. Feel free to play around with different combinations, but I feel that special charge rate is very important in a map like this, where we're just going from objective to objective as soon as possible. Dying is fairly frequent, especially considering that there's so much stuff is being thrown at you in this particular map. Thankfully, this game is fairly generous when it comes to checkpoints. Whenever you clear one objective, you essentially need to kind of use that as sort of a bookmark, so that if you die, you'll respawn at the previously cleared objective, and kind of moving on from there and learning from your mistakes. Other than that, though, we are going to go ahead and dive straight into it. Lots of stuff going on, lots to talk about, and I'm going to try to walk you guys through this as best as I possibly can. Here we go. Alright, so the first thing you want to do the moment a battle begins is you want to look at your map. Look very closely at your map when you're doing this. Get your alternate character, any alternate character that you want, and then assign them to the fortress. Make sure you're not assigning them to you, because then they're going to follow you around everywhere, far away from the objective that they're meant to defend. Instead, send them towards like the Hylian captain, send them towards like this corner over here, and just park them there. That's all you need to think about. Other than that, though, let the games begin. Generally speaking, you want to build up meter as soon as possible. Build up at least 2.5. Building up as much special as you can is important because in a desperate situation, if a Guardian is charging a laser and you don't have a shield to parry with, you're going to want to be able to be invincible for that duration and get some damage out of the way. Got ourselves 2 bars of meter, and a Guardian is on the way. They're gonna go for an attack. Yes, they are. Okay, when a Sheikah glyph is required, usually I just prep a combo 6, fire off as much damage as I can from here, and this should be enough to one-hit kill. Regular Guardians are fairly easy to kill. It's when you have to deal with the Elemental Guardians. They're a little bit more bulky, they take a little bit more damage, so just keep that in mind. Okay, this is tricky. I think the best thing I can do in this scenario is wait it out, go for some stasis. Alright, this weak point should be enough. I'm looking at the map right now. I see that a Guardian is coming around, and honestly, I'd rather just deal with this Guardian first. Will this be enough? The thing about the Claymore that I like so much too is that when you're in the air, you can get some extra hits on the eye, and then finish things with an EX strong attack falling down, and that will also be enough. That will also be enough to burn that meter, or the rest of that weak point gauge. Okay, now, I am going to direct Link, but before I continue and switch over to Mos Kosha, okay, here's the thing about the objectives of the Siege of Fort Hateno, and this is very, very important before you do anything about this map. When you address any of the objectives, whether it's Aster or Harbinger, there is going to be a period where they immediately retreat and go to a different section of the map that is guarded. So in the case of Aster, he's going to retreat here, and in the case of Harbinger, you're going to fight him here, but halfway through, he is going to go here. In order to access these bosses, you need to open up these gates, and in order to do so, there's going to be a Guardian that spawns when they retreat. Not a Guardian, but a Talus. There's going to be a Talus that spawns when they retreat, or any other kind of enemy. And, well, actually no, sorry. There is a Talus that spawns here, and there is a Lionel that spawns here. Thing is, though, is that there's already a Malice Guardian and an Electric Guardian. You want to get rid of these guys first. These guys will not respawn along with them. So go ahead, guide them in. Actually, I think in the case of Link, what I'll do... yeah, well... yeah, just guide him here, because there's a bunch of Fireless Alphos that you also want to be careful of. So... it'll make more sense as I actually get into it. Yeah. Electric. The thing is, it is raining in this game. Rain is very, very useful, unlike in Breath of the Wild. The reason why I say so is that when it's raining, the effects of the lightning rod are essentially super effective. Yeah, I'm just doing some regular combo 2s, and then I'm going to immediately switch back to Link. That was a very, very bad situation to spawn into. I don't know if that's going to be enough to hit the Guardian Scout. Alright, I need to use up some stasis here. That's fine. My stasis returns quite quickly. Always keep an eye on your stasis cliffs. Okay, this is a tricky situation because when we confront the Electric Guardian, there are going to be a bunch of Fireless Alphos interrupting my attacks, and we do not want that. Feel free to just kind of linger around a little bit here. Be quick about it, but make sure you take the time. Take the time to clear out the Fireless Alphos, because if they interrupt your attacks, problems will be had. Okay. So armor through it. Make sure you're just sweeping out everyone that you possibly can. I think that did it for all the Fireless Alphos. We took quite a bit of damage. This is very hard, so the damage is much more significant. You need to be very, very reactive to the stuff that goes on here. No, we're gonna freeze you. Do a simple combo. Okay, now I'm going to direct link to the Hinox. And then I have to deal with this Guardian now. Any character that you're familiar with doing breaking weak point gauges would be fine. Just make sure it's someone that you can quickly deal with the Guardians with. Okay, here we go. I see that there are Lizalfos in the background there, and I don't want to get their attention just yet. So how about you get over here? Okay, that should be good. If it's not enough, I can just linger in the air, get some extra attacks in, and then get some more weak point gauge even without needing to expose it. Now, while he's in his daze, wait for him to get out of the daze, and then go for another combo. So you see he broke out, but that's okay. I'm in the air, hit him in the eye. Even if he breaks out prematurely. Okay, this is the tricky part, because now we gotta fight against 3 enemies. Very annoying to deal with. But try to line them up as best you can, but focusing down on Aster. Do a quick combo. Couldn't quite reach him, I was blocked off by the Moblins. That's okay. Since I broke both the weak point gauges, this will hit both of them. Oh, there's some Lizalfos here that I gotta be wary of too. I gotta deal with these guys, because I know these guys will hit me off screen, and I do not want to deal with that. Okay, here we go. What do you got for me? Line him up. I think he teleported away. I might have missed. Oh no, we got him. There we go. Line them both up as best you can. Try to line them up for your specials. I think that's enough. Nope, he still has a little bit of fight left in him. Oh, that was bad. I got caught in the rubble. Watch my step. There we go. There we go. Made a mistake. I ran into the rubble and I wasn't able to dodge his attack like that. When a scenario like that happens, feel free to heal, but I think we'll forgo the healing for now. Again, before you even think of engaging the Talus, just clear out any Lizalfos nearby. Those things get annoying because they can just freeze you without any warning whatsoever. Okay, so you can freeze them with Igneous Talus. We're going to get some fire element from this too, so that's something to keep in mind. Unfortunately, it is raining, so fire won't be as effective as I'd like it to be. Okay, particularly for the Claymore, if you're going to do a combo 6, try to do it from their right. Oh, I missed. That's fine. Just try to do it from their right, armor through it the entire way, and you may be able to hit. If not, just freeze them. They throw a lot at you, and I think the next Talus that we have to fight against is a Frost Talus anyway. It's a Frost Talus regardless, so yes. We're going to get that back. Same for the reason why when, like, you know, with Maz Koshra on the fort earlier, the reason why I was unafraid of using electricity is simply because I knew it was there. Oh boy, 3 Guardian Scouts. Honestly, in a scenario like this, the best thing to do is just get all of them done as soon as possible. Okay. I see a Lizalfos there. I don't trust it. Yeah, he was firing. He was waiting for me to run into it. Okay, so this is the final phase with Aster. In a scenario like this, for me, the best thing to do is just, like, wait for him to do something punishable. He's a lot of them. He gets hit by that shockwave, you'll kind of develop a combo that way. Yeah, just stall a little bit for some damage. Whittle him down as best as you can. And that's that. I have taken quite a bit of damage, but here's the thing. This is the first checkpoint in the game. So, or in the map. So, what that means for us is that if I die, which is highly likely, or becomes increasingly more likely as this map goes on, when that happens, the best thing I can say is just, like, keep cool about it and try again. I'm going to direct a link over here, and I have to deal with this Guardian that is getting a little bit too cozy. Okay, this wants fire elements. As luck would have it, we just killed a fire elemental. Burn all those glyphs. Burn it all. I can see that Link is close to the Frost Talus in the bottom right corner. So I'm gonna hide in here. The base is looking fine. Oh no, they spawned us in the middle of all those alphas. Okay, Electro Lizalfos, I'm pretty sure you guys, if you are familiar with this game, there's a lot of Lizalfos. And the electric ones are very, very frustrating to deal with. So honestly, before you even think about addressing the Talus, just take out every Lizalfos. Spare none of them. Ooh, Fire Elemental. Don't mind if I do. If you don't have enough charge, what you may want to consider is trying to find another enemy or a Fire Guardian that's nearby. Again, try to position yourselves so you can reach that. There we go. I wasn't entirely sure if that was going to work or not, but the worst case scenario that I would have thought up is that if I end up not having any fire elemental, what I could do is just use the electric. Then thunder element, it's raining right now, so that is another thing that we could have done. Okay, freeze all three of them. You don't need to kill Vistal Moblins in order to progress through the map, but it certainly helps. Again, like I said, damage is king in this game. Being able to do as much damage as possible, even to like nearby enemies, is going to make an impact. Okay, so I made a mistake. I actually forgot to deal with an enemy that's nearby. So this is where building that meter comes in handy. We want to have three bars of special, or leading up to 3. We may have to actually stall a little bit for that. Do something punishable for me, please. I messed up that one. There we go. Okay, this is something we need to be very careful over. Like I said, careful. Thankfully, like, there is a checkpoint, so if I do end up failing this, I will just respawn at the previous, thing. We thought to fight against the Frost Talus, which is annoying, but in the very least, we're gonna have to deal with a Lionel here. If I can lure the Lionel away from the Malice Guardian, then that will be perfect. Then I don't have to worry about fighting the Malice Guardian. I just need to worry about fighting the Lionel. Oh, that's a mature situation. Well, we're doing it again. Okay, so like I said, I was hoping that was my mistake. I actually should have just went ahead and fired a special. If you're planning using a combo 6, obviously it does take a bit of wind-up time. I should have distanced myself a little bit, but that's okay. So here's the thing, because I completely forgot when I was sending Link to... Oh, when I was sending Link, I actually should have went for the Malice Guardian first. These kinds of things happen. It's very, very common, especially on harder difficulties, where, like, dying can happen, like, in the blink of an eye. Go. Okay. Now, Link is on his way. If I were to switch to him now, I'd be in a scenario that I do not want to deal with, so... because I know he's going to be fighting against some other enemies, too. Oh, maybe take that one. Actually, no, we have plenty of special from Kosha. I think this should be enough to kill the Guardian Scouts. They don't have that much HP, they're just very annoying and intimidating to deal with. Okay. So yeah, Link, he's just on his way. I can go now. Okay, so kind of like what I said earlier, the best thing I can think of is just clear out all distractions. Also, I think capturing a keep would be a good idea too. Actually, no, maybe not, no. Let's decide against that. Because right now, we have a lot of Lizalfos, and we need to get rid of all of them. We do not want them interfering with our battle with the Guardian. Is that all of them? Yeah, he's just letting himself out there. Here we go. Having any special available, burning all the special for this particular fight is okay. Mal's Guardian, annoying. So you see that sequence over there? We didn't even need to, because the thing about Guardians, again, hitting their weak points has different properties because they'll actually stay in that weak point stun for a lot longer in comparison to like Lionels and Moblins. Since we're here, I might as well also deal with these Lizalfos, build that meter. Yeah, part of the reason why I want to keep in, because normally I tend to stop recording whenever I die because I want to do this entire thing flawlessly, but I think in this scenario, showing how, again, like being familiar with like where checkpoints are would be very valuable to like newer players. So you gonna go for this bit? Yeah, there it is. Oh, I couldn't get it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't normally fight Lizalfos like that. It's usually just wait for them to do a Sheikah punishing thing. But that's alright. Okay, be very careful before you leave, because these guys, again, they'll just crawl on the ground. Oh, gotta be careful. Those Lizalfos. Alright, I see that someone is trying to interfere with Fort Hateno. That is okay. That is okay, because once I finish with this objective... Once I finish with this objective, I can easily just switch over. Lightning? Yep, it's raining. You can use that. Remember. Always remember what you have available to you. Okay, before I continue my battle, I need to go here. Alright, so here's an Electric Guardian, which is good news for us, because Electric is extremely useful in this particular map. And we're going to be wanting to use it a lot against the Lionel. I have no qualms about using the meter here. Honestly, I don't anticipate very many more interruptions from the fort for this particular fight. Should be enough to finish it off. I see that Link's already on his way. Okay, so in a scenario like this, if you wish to heal, feel free. I probably should have done that with a Lionel before it killed me, but in that scenario, just be careful. Here we go. Rematch. He's going for a beam. Honestly, if you need to open up, because the thing about Harbinger Ganon is that a lot of this guy's abilities are kind of strange and difficult to address. I wouldn't even know how to begin explaining how to deal with that attack. Because most of the time it would probably just end up doing more damage than it's worth. So it's best that you just remain in the driver's seat. Okay, so Harbinger is going to retreat. Should I learn from my past mistakes and heal? Absolutely. Now, I already did clear out the electrical Lizalfos in the area, but you'll never know. Some of them, there might be some stragglers here and there. Oh yeah, here they are. There was one back there. I don't know. I don't trust Lizalfos. It's my problem. It's okay to be a little bit paranoid about these kinds of things, because you'll never know. Okay, Malice Lionel. Special? We're gonna save our special for Harbinger, I think. Yes, there we go. Okay, so I guess before I fight against Harbinger, I need to address that next one. That next Guardian. So again, like I said, try to space yourself away. He has a little bit left. Okay, but again, like I said, the margin for error at that particular point with the Lionels is that if you're in a position to hit him in the head, by all means. For bombs. Ooh, I missed. Jump up in the air. There we go. I actually could have gone into an EX dash attack, but that's okay. This should be enough to finish him off. Alright. So, before I do anything else, I gotta quickly heal up. With, heal the temporary damage. And I'm gonna direct Link to just go here while I play as Mozkosha. Yeah, we're going for Thunder. Just clearing out everyone. Don't waste too much time, because yeah, we have 6 minutes left, and we need to make sure that we make use of those 6 minutes. Can I use this? Ah, I guess not. I was thinking I could maybe freeze Cryonis, but that's okay. Okay. Oh, Octoroks, the cheeky Octoroks! I totally forgot about those. That's alright. Here's the thing, like I said with Aster, the best thing to do is just try to line everyone up as best you can. Any more Guardians I need to be aware of? Yeah, do your best to line them up. You do not want these guys to be around. think this should be enough to kill. Okay, I do not anticipate any distractions for the final encounter, and this is very, very important. If you have any healing items that you wish to use them now. Hopefully you have some left over. Hopefully you're not playing on very hard like I am. And this is where, like, concentration really comes into play. I don't believe I have very much in the way of special meter. I could try to build them out now, but 6 minutes could be the difference between an eternity or no time at all. Oh boy. There we go. Just sweep, 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 sweep. Get some meter and then get out of there. We don't even need to clear out those necessarily. Be very careful here, because we're being followed by another Guardian Scout, and I got to deal with that. Just lure it here. Lightning, yep. Absolutely. Like, if you have anything that you need to use, you use it here. This is like the map where, like, it just culminates, where the entire game is essentially culminating. It's a great map. Okay. I think it's time to begin the final encounter. There we go. Okay, so Calamity Ganon is a tricky fight because it essentially is the fight that requires you to know everything you need to know about just exposing weak point gauges. The thing about the Combo 6 is that there is the armor to take into account. There is the element of the super armor, but if he is using a attack that requires magnesis, you may wish to not try to armor through that, because it may interrupt you. Other than that, though, this is what heroes are made of. I guess we're just going to burn everything for the purpose of this video. No need to be super efficient, because we had just defeated an Electric Guardian. Yeah, burn it. I guess we're gonna go for combo 6. If you're feeling lucky, you can actually try to use the headshots to interrupt the attacks, but don't count on it too much. We got lucky that time. Very, very careless move, but we'll see what we got. Pushing him towards the enemy fort, so we'll push him away from that. Yeah, there we go. That's what I mean when I say don't try to go for an attack, the armor attack, when he's doing that magnesis, because that ends in lightning. Thankfully, there aren't too many enemies that will try to interrupt you, but if you notice you're either pushing them too close to a fort, you may want to address that. There we go. I don't know if this should be enough. Oh yeah, that's enough. And that is Curtains with 2 minutes and 56 seconds left to spare. Like I said, like, it's fairly forgiving when it comes to checkpoints. Obviously, it is a bit of a slog to have to do an entire objective in between each of them, but that is kind of the nature of the game, learning from your mistakes, knowing how to preemptively see on the map that there are some things that you can address before they become problematic down the road, kind of having that foreknowledge, and that's kind of what makes the Siege of Fort Hateno so fun. Anyways, guys, this was a bit of a slog, and hopefully you guys got a better understanding of, like, generally speaking, how the overall combat loop goes, especially when using the Claymore. I know I already did a Claymore-centered video, but I want to show more in action how it is when it comes to things like whenever there's a problem and there's several obstacles, how do you address these things? What do you do in that scenario that's high pressure? How do you make the things as easy as possible on your end so that it's less stressful? And that's kind of the beauty of these games in general, is that you're constantly finding new ways to make things easier for yourself, and that's hopefully what you guys got out of this today. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for joining me for the Siege of Fort Hateno. I don't want to continue clicking forward because I think I might end up unlocking some stuff for some more secret characters. And this game is, like I said, only a week old, and I imagine not everyone has unlocked everybody. It was already kind of a spoiler to show Maz Koshia, but for the most part, though, yeah. This is essentially what makes Hyrule Warriors so fun. The Siege of Fort Hateno, all that stress of, like, having to make split-second decisions, that's what makes these warrior games so interesting to me. And yeah, hopefully we're going to see some more as we go on for the coming weeks, months, covering this game here on the channel. Guys, thank you very much for joining me today for the Siege of Fort Hateno. Hopefully you all learned something here, and continue to have fun playing your game. But until then, see you guys next time.